I have been every voice.
You are the chosen one! Anakin! Anakin!
This is where the fun begins.
Inside your head.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about Hayden Christensen, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and more. As always my dear Megalorians, before I dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new content. So as we say around these parts, without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So as we know, Hayden Christensen is going to be reprising the role as Darth Vader in Obi-Wan Kenobi, as well as Anakin through flashbacks. Well, in the latest Cantina podcast by LRM, they made a couple of significant claims. First of all, they state that Hayden has already worn the Darth Vader suit on set, and within the next week, shooting for the series is going to go full throttle. They went on to claim that we might be getting something for Obi-Wan Kenobi on Star Wars Day, May the 4th, most likely a promo shot of either Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan or Hayden as Vader. Now, as always, take all of this with a pinch of salt because it is just rumour, and in 2 days' time we'll know for sure. An even bigger rumour is that Hayden Christensen is not only returning for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but Lucasfilm are in talks for a Vader project. It could be a movie, but with the direction that Star Wars is taking, it's most likely going to be for a Disney Plus series. Apparently, when Lucasfilm approached Hayden Christensen for his return in the Kenobi series, he actually signed on for more than one project. Could the other one be a Darth Vader miniseries on Disney Plus? Some fans say that there's no point in a Vader series, since we see him in the prequels, the original trilogy in Rogue One, and of course in the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and so his arc has been explored. But I would argue that there's so many stories with lots of nuance to explore, especially from the Vader comics. Bringing some of those into live action would be a really awesome idea. But what do you guys make of a potential Darth Vader series? In the most technical way, the Skywalker saga is the tale of Darth Vader, but still, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, we're going to be staying on the subject of Obi-Wan Kenobi for a bit, because the other day we spoke about the Ewan McGregor interview he did with The Hollywood Reporter, but one thing we didn't speak about is lightsabers, and how the show is going to address a major sequel trilogy criticism. It really seems as though Lucasfilm are going to detach themselves from the sequel trilogy in the way that they approach Star Wars going forward. As we know, the sequel trilogy was very divisive, but fans were specifically not happy with the lack of technical elegance when it came to lightsaber battles. In particular, The Last Jedi didn't really have much lightsaber action. Some say it seemed as though there wasn't much thought or effort put into them, but thankfully that doesn't look to be the case for Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you watched any of the making of the prequels, especially the making of Revenge of the Sith, you'll know that Ewan McGregor really knows how to navigate a lightsaber. But the other day he came out and stated just how important it is to get those lightsaber battles right, and he also talked about how hard he's been training for the upcoming series. He says, "For months we've been doing these monster 2.5 hour long sessions of sword fights and hand-to-hand stuff." Now honestly, I've not been the biggest sequels lover, but I'm also not a massive sequel hater. I've pointed out the reasons why I do enjoy some aspects of the films, while also criticising those aspects which need to be criticised. But one thing I really didn't appreciate, especially about the last two films, was their treatment of the lightsaber. I'm not saying that Star Wars films have to have that much lightsaber action in them, but it is a big component of the Skywalker saga up until episodes 8 and 9, and then it's very underwhelming when it does happen, especially in the Rise of Skywalker between Rey and Kylo Ren. Of course the visuals were pretty stunning, but ultimately the lightsaber duels were subpar. It's really reassuring as a prequels fan, but also just generally as a Star Wars fan who absolutely loves lightsabers, that just like 16 years ago in Revenge of the Sith, Ewan McGregor is taking to the lightsaber again and really giving it his all, because the effort they put in physically really does show on screen, even with all of the visual effects that they add at the end. To this day, I think one of the best lightsaber duels in the entire Skywalker saga is of course Obi-Wan against Vader on Mustafar. I truly encourage each and every one of you to go and watch the behind the scenes of the making of that scene. Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen really gave it their all for hours and hours and hours of training, and it's really awesome that he's going to do that again for Kenobi. To be honest, even in the season finale of The Mandalorian Season 2, Luke Skywalker taking on Moff Gideon's Dark Troopers was some of the best action we've had in a very long time, and that's saying something. The reason I focused on The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker in terms of lightsaber duels, which I found disappointing, is because I didn't have the same grievance with the Force Awakens scene with Finn, Kylo and Rey. I think that was a really excellent build-up, even though they could have done more with it. But let me know your thoughts of this in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and are you looking forward to seeing Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back in action for the first time since episode 3? So finally, my dear Megalorians, I want to bring this to light. This is really entertaining indeed. The original Star Wars cast announcements show surprising action actor in lead role. Basically, this goes back to 1976 and 1977, and looking at the original casting announcements made before the franchise became a thing. So this was the first announcement made in July of 1975 from the Box Office magazine, and it stated that The Star Wars instead of Star Wars would begin production in January of the following year. It's also worth noting that Luke Skywalker was originally called Luke Starkiller, and this was before anyone knew what the thing was about. The following year there was a further update from Box Office which showed its final title of Star Wars before giving a synopsis of the movie. But the most astonishing thing is the role that they say that Alec Guinness is going to play. They say that Alec Guinness's major role will be a bearded old desert rat who was once a leading general in the Galactic Wars. It's thrilling to read these original statements knowing how far the franchise has come since then, but it is amusing nonetheless. And we certainly know that Alec Guinness and his character Obi-Wan Kenobi deserve a bit more respect than being called a bearded old desert rat. Also note that they call the Clone Wars the Galactic Wars, but that was very quickly changed in production. The interesting thing about this all is to see how innocent Star Wars was once upon a time before it was really known as a franchise. So reading these are from an elegant newspaper of a much simpler time. Now just quickly guys, I want to promote some of my Patreon stuff. On there I have exclusive access to content that you don't get here on YouTube, and I've started a new series which is William Shakespeare's Star Wars, basically episodes 1 to 9 but in the style of Shakespeare. I've started reading The Force Doth Awaken, which is the parody of The Force Awakens, and I wanted to give you guys a little preview before I go. The Republic doth a brave resistance arm, her brother she doth earnestly pursue, thus may he help bring peace to restoration. She sends a daring pilot to Jakku, where one old friend, perchance, knows Luke's location. In time so long ago begins our play, in yearning a galaxy far, far away. Enter several citizens of Jakku, severely fighting in the opposition. Poe says, "Roll swiftly as thou canst, good BB-8, kind solace in a dying hour thou art." BB-8 responds verily, "Flip, flee, 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 boop, beep, boop, zoom, reach, blee." Poe responds, "This wreck, this ruin, oh, these stones, alas! My ship is struck with harsh and searing blows, that may, methinks, mean devastation soon. Flew, flit, blay, zoo, zar, blee, blue, zood," says BB-8. Poe responds, "Thanks, kindly BB-8. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.